Hey everyone, I'm Vicki Howell and I am here for some of you for the second time. I accidentally posted the first time only in our private YarnYAY group, so my subscribers got a little sneaky peeky. So now I'm happy to be, hopefully, live for Gen Pop to show you what we have in store for the YarnYAY July box. I'm the founder and creative director. I change the title all the time, but I'm the woman behind YarnYAY along with an amazing team. And this is something that we do every month, a little sneak peek for everyone. Our boxes are curated with our whole hearts. We seek out meaningful brands. We like to support as many small businesses as possible. This month, that means 5, many of which are women-owned. And we're just super happy to be able to bring small, medium-sized bites of amazing yarns and notions and tools to you. We hope that you'll love them as much as we do, and then you'll go support your local yarn shops or the indie dyers or notion makers by buying larger quantities for bigger projects, telling friends and that kind of thing, so that we all help each other rise in our amazing knitting and crochet community. So for those of you that are new to YarnYAY, this is a monthly box. It comes to you straight from my studio. I'm actually in my kitchen right now, but the YarnYAY studios to your home. It comes every month and you will get 2 patterns, knit and crochet, to make something that's absolutely doable. We try to make them interesting but not too challenging so that you can do it within your busy life. And then if you love them, as I said before, you might work on something bigger later with the same yarn or in the same genre of projects. We often give you different sizes, not as in wearable sizes, but as in breadth of projects too, so that you can really look at this as a full arc experience. Okay, so let's look at what's inside our favorite little aqua box for July. All right, so 5 years ago, box number 2, we are now at box number 63, I got to work with a gorgeous, like a company that does the most gorgeous yarns, and they are known for their cashmere blends, along with their really deeply saturated, beautiful, vibrant colors. That yarn line is Dream in Color. We have not worked with them since then for no other reason than just life, and so I was just thrilled when they agreed to partner with us once again. So our yarn is a special put-up. As I mentioned, our boxes, I have yarn fibers attached to my lip gloss. Struggle is real, right? Our box is under $40, and so we try to mix it up with a whole range of products from, affordable to aspirational maybe, and give them to you for you to try at kind of a low commitment level. And then if you love them, you invest in these small dye houses and these beautiful fibers that are really creating heirloom products. So as part of that, we get our own special put up, our own special size of different things, especially when it's a luxury yarn like this one. So Dream and Cashmere put together our own 50-gram hanks of their smushy yarn. It is a superwash merino nylon cashmere blend, and it is in this just exceptional shade, Violet Fields. It's a semi-solid. It has this array of greens and then a pop of this real deep periwinkle that you can see I'm really into right now. And you might also notice the ratio of colors, and there's a reason for that. So there's a big technique trend on the interwebs right now, or out in our community right now. And I really have to give a shout out to Don Barker from Barker Wool for making this technique come to the forefront and really gain popularity. And it's called assigned pooling. It's something we've never done at YarnYAY, so we're always really excited when we get to do something new, just a little technique, a little different way to look at our favorite crafts. So we're going to be working on assigned pooling projects. I'm going to explain what that is in one second, but first let me explain why I pointed out the way that this yarn is dyed. So for assigned pooling, the difference is, I had one without a label around here somewhere. Hold on one second. For it to really work, you can do it with any variegated, but for it to really pop, you want a yarn that has mostly one color, semi-solid, doesn't have to be, solid, with just a small percentage, about 25-ish% of that secondary color. The more contrasting, the better for the technique. And what you do is you assign stitches to each color. So usually the main color, that's what I'm calling the main color, is in a really simple stitch, like a stockinette or a garter. And then the contrasting color is usually assigned a texture stitch. Often it's some kind of floral stitch, but it can be anything that just pops a little bit outside of the bed of plainer stitch. So that's a little background on that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating two. One hank will make either one of these projects. We have a knit and a crochet project. So I designed the knit one, and it is the Seeds and Flowers scarf. It is in a shape we also haven't done. We've done similar shapes. This is a top center out piece, but normally it's a top center out triangle, and this one is a heart shape. And what makes that cool is you'll notice there's this sort of subtle dip right below my chin, and that makes it really easy to drape it and for it to stay on your body. I can never do this when I'm looking at myself in the mirror. To stay on your body. So that's a really great technique. Even if you decided you didn't want to assign pool, just being able to make a piece in this, like you could skip all of the sort of special stitches and just work in stockinette, and you have this great shape, and still the yarn would be beautiful, and you'd showcase it that way. All right, so for assigned pooling, I assigned stockinette to the green, and then to that deep periwinkle, I split it up. So sometimes just simple reverse stockinette, so you get that little pop of texture, and then other times these little mini floret stitches. And the effect is really unexpected and textural. And the great thing is it's not difficult. There's no math or gauge really involved as there is with planned pooling. Really, you work the pattern as it's called for until you get to that secondary color, and then you work the assigned stitch with that color, and then you revert back. That's all there is. And I've done a video too to explain it a little bit further. Okay, so this is the knit project. There's also instructions to make a shawl version. You will need to purchase an additional hank if you want the bigger shawl version. That additional yarn in our special 50-gram put-up will be made available first to our subscribers, and we'll do that around the 6th or the 8th of the month. We'll open that up. Okay, so that's our knit. For crochet, we always do the same type of projects for crocheters that we do for knitters for our monthly boxes. But this time, well, not this time, we also, for one or other of the projects, we have a designer in residence design. This is a program I started about 1.5 years ago. It's a way to get sort of fresh eyes on our brand, but also get to introduce to those who may not be familiar with a designer and us all work together. So July marks the time when we switch over to our fall winter designer, and this quarter, half year, it is Gavriella Tremino. You can find her at Hello Gavriella, that's with a V, and I'll put that in the comment section on Instagram. She is both a knit and a crochet wear designer, so we'll volley. So we'll just alternate sometimes. Whoever is more inspired by a particular craft with a particular yarn and project, we will alternate. So this time, Gavriella wanted to do the crochet version, and that is also a similar scarf. This one is meant to be worn a little more bandana style. You can either tie it, or a little pro tip, those little clips that Coco Knits does them for sweaters, sewers, they usually use the flat ones. Those will work well, but for knitters, we usually use the ones with the teeth. I used to wear them in my hair in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s too. They work great for holding on kerchiefs to your neck, and then you can just flop the knit part or crochet part over it, and so you don't see them, but then you don't have to worry about them moving. But I digress. All right, so what Gavriella did, she also focused on assigned pooling. Make sure I have the right side out. But she alternated, instead of alternating assigned stitches for that contrasting color, she alternated between not assigning them at all and just working in plain crochet, which she added some eyelets. So that's not assigned at all. And these read a lot more in person than they do on camera. And then down here, she assigned back loop only stitches so that there's a pop of texture wherever that secondary color comes up. It's really adorable. She did a picot edging. I think it looks really cute to fold over that edging so you have just another dimension. And it's really beautiful. Again, we also offered a larger version that you would need extra yarn for. Okay, we've got our project, we've got our yarn. Oh, I also wanted to mention that in every box you get a printed booklet. In that booklet is both the knit and the crochet full color patterns. We also include a little bit of information on all of the small businesses that you're supporting. We give a QR code to a digital version as well so that you can take your pattern on the go, have it on your tablet or your phone. You can zoom in that way. And then we also within that make the names to these companies that you're supporting. We make them linkable so you can go check them out. Support them even further if you'd like. So both of those come as part of it. As a side note, if you're not into the projects that we have, we always also send out alternative ideas. Sometimes they're more of my or our patterns. Often they're not. They're just things that we dig on Ravelry because we don't expect everybody to be into what we're doing all of the time. We just want you to work with these great products and knit and crochet with us. All right, next up, we've got, I love a cool tool that is super simple and also so smart, and that is the case with a tool from a brand that I really dig. They've got some just beautiful stuff, Twig and Horn. So this is a wraps per inch tool, and it has two functions. The top function is, you know how in your stash you often have leftover yarn but don't have the labels anymore, and so you may or may not remember what weight it is. So let's say that you're scrolling through Instagram or through Ravelry and you find a pattern that you want and you wonder if your stash yarn will work for it, but you're not really sure about the weight. All you have to do is take that yarn, see if I can do this with a piece that's out, and lay it across the area that looks closest to what you're looking at. And for this, our yarn this month is a fingering, so I already know that, so I'm just going to show you. So you see it fits perfectly in that little slot. So if I didn't have a label, I'd say, oh, it looks like this is fingering, and then I could swatch accordingly. So this will just help you decode your stash. The second use is the wraps per inch function. So you wrap around, and this will give you an idea for how many stitches, how much yarn you need for how many stitches you need to cast on. So you just would wrap per inch, and that would tell you about how much yarn you need for each stitch that you'll be casting on. Gives you just a little bit of an idea. It also has a little, I don't know if you can see this, it has a little 1-inch ruler as well for a little wee, and with a little cutout, so you could use this as a little wee gauge marker as well, or ruler rather. So that is by Twig and Horn, and it is a wraps per inch tool. Okay, our last item is a little bit of self-care. I tried to keep it all in the theme of this sort of like violet lavendery situation. And so I took it a little bit more literally, but also giving us a little self-care for our hands so that we are nice and silky soft when we pick up the gorgeous cashmere merino blend. And that is a lavender sage hand lotion. This is from a company called Avery Beauty, and their products are vegan and cruelty-free. They use thoughtful ingredients. And this particular cream is just, it's really lovely. It's not greasy at all. It's moisturizing, and it's got a subtle lavender smell. It's not overpowering, as a lot of lavender products can be. Leaves your hands nice and silky soft, so you'll be ready to knit and crochet in no time. All right, that is it for the July box. Also, every month when you're a subscriber from YarnYAY, and by the way, you can cancel at any time, so give it a try. And if it's your first box, you can have 15% off by using code FIRSTYAY15 at checkout. And then if you're not into it, you can pause, you can cancel, you do you. I would just love if you would check it out. You also, as part of the subscription, get 5% off, a coupon every month for 5% off to our YarnYAY shop, where we have other notions. We've got last call boxes, which are pass boxes. We've got my yarn line, Montoya Merino, and some other notions and goodies and bags and that kind of thing. So be sure to take advantage of that. We also have a really inclusive YarnYAY Facebook group where it has a lovely community of supportive fellow stitchers. We post tutorials in there as well and try to do specialty events, live videos sometimes, or interviews with dyers and yarn spinners sometimes, and notion makers and designers. So we really believe that it's not just about the yarn and the hook and the needles, it's really about the community and about the overall experience. So I would love it, as founder of YarnYAY, if you would give our monthly YarnYAY box experience a chance. We so appreciate you supporting our small business. We in turn try to support as many other small businesses as we can, and are just thrilled to be here for another month. So go to yarnyay.com. You can also go to the link that is down in the comments section to subscribe right now, and I will see you hopefully soon on the interwebs. Tag at Vicki Howell with any YarnYAY project. We love seeing what you're working on. All right, have a great rest of your month.